Hey everyone, this is Mobius Primal, and I am back with another Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. I gotta say, I am super stoked to bring you this game because my opponent is none other than the guy who taught me how to play Fantasy starting way back in 6th edition, something like 6 or 7 years ago. The place I recently moved to is about 3 hours away from him, so we decided to split the difference, meet in the middle, and have a game. And then he surprised me with an army of ogres, which I didn't even know he had this. He's mostly Beastman, Wood Elf, and a Greenskin player, so jumping out with ogres, it's a new army for him, so it's still in the wickets of getting put together and painted. Every sneaky move, every advanced tactic, most of everything that I know about the game of Warhammer Fantasy is derived from this guy. He also taught me the value of seeing value in seemingly useless units, misdirection, and how not every army has to be quote-unquote tournament level to have a fun game. Anytime I do beat him though, I totally feel like Darth Vader telling Obi-Wan, last time we met I was the learner, now I'm the master, though I rarely get to say that. Anyway, let's get on with it. This is 2400 battle, 2400 points, battle line scenario of my Heartless versus Ogre Kingdoms. Looking down my line from the right flank, I have 5 fast cavalry with shields, then my rarely seen unit of 5 Pegasus Knights. I got the Trebuchet in the back, small unit of 10 archers with the standard and flaming arrow upgrade, and then you can see my unit of knights. They're the same as always, 11 knights with banner swiftness, joined by my +2 attack heroic killing blow general. At 2400 points, he gets equipped with an extra luck stone and a full hardiness potion, so he's a little bit more killy and defendy. Then I have another 10 archers in that back crater. They again have a standard and flaming arrow upgrade. Moving to my left flank, you've got my honor guard unit, 2 big men-at-arm unit, another 10 archers, and finally 5 more fast cavalry. BSB is back there to keep the units in line, and I decided definitely I would pray, so I put Catherine, that's my mage on pony, in with one of the men-at-arms to give them the blessing. Now checking out my opponent's army, starting on my left, he's got 3 lead belchers with a standard, then 4 Mournfang with full command, a single saber tusk. Whoa, if you want a super awesome and cheap redirection unit, single saber tusk that's the way to go. I heard it's only rumor, but I heard that was good. So further back, he's got 9 ogre bulls. They've got full command, and they're led by his Slaughtermaster General, who's carrying the Sword of Anti-Heroes, Talisman of Preservation, and a scroll. And his BSBs also joined that unit, who has the Armor of Fortune, Biting Blade, and a Rock Eye. Up front there, that's a unit of 6 Man-Eaters with Scout and Immune to Psychology. The 3 guys in the front, they have a brace of pistols, and then the guys in the back carry great weapons. Then on the far right is a unit of 9 Iron Guts with full command. They're led by his 3rd character, which is a level 2 Beast Lore, not Slaughtermaster, or whatever the lower level mage is called. He's carrying Grut Sickle. And then he's got 2 very small deployment stall units of 10 Nobblers and the final Saber Tusk. Lots of stuff in 2400 points. Okay, so kicking things off, Ogres surge forward in turn 1. Saber Tusk get into position to cause mischief later on, and the Mournfang swoop in behind the Man-Eaters. Nothing else terribly significant. Here's another shot from the other side. Then in the magic phase, I can't recall what spell he hit, but I think it was Boosted Toothcracker, and he unfortunately miscast. But then it only did a wound on his level 2 butcher. You get the result where all mages take strength 6 hit. A couple of wounds in the shooting phase. Lead Belchers put one on my archer line, and the Man-Eaters the Man-Eaters blast out a couple of men-at-arms, but nothing major. So moving on to Heartless 1. My Pegasus Knights charge one of the Nobblar units. They flee, and then the Pegasus redirect into the 2nd unit. They take 0 wounds through dangerous terrain and stand and shoot, so that's kind of nice. And then my Fast Cavalry, you see, they move in behind the Saber Tusk. I'm hoping to get it shot down. I think those things are like toughness 4 with 2 wounds, so it'd be a tall order, but if I could do it, it'd make things a lot easier for me later. My Knights wiggle up just a little bit, so it makes it not too terribly tough to charge next turn. But the big Ogre unit would need an 11 to get in contact with me. So if they do get in contact, I'd be in big trouble because they get the increased impact hits. But that's not happening very often. Overall, on my left-hand flank, my men-at-arms move up at an angle that allow a nice countercharge with my Honor Guard unit. And then on the very far left, I use my other men-at-arm unit to move up against the Lead Belchers. And put my Fast Cavalry up there on the side. Those guys can't do much to Ogres, and their shooting's not going to do much. They can't really take them in combat. Right now, they're pretty much just drawing attention. I put a Savage Beast during the magic phase on my General, just to make it even more unattractive to declare a charge on my Knights. Plus, I managed to wound 1 Saber Tusk, and the Saber Tusk on the right, and one of the Man-Eaters. And hand-to-hand, no surprise, my Pegasus romp the Gnoblars who break, but they only flee 2 inches. So they get in my way and I can't really reform properly. These guys are actually facing in a they're facing towards all the other ogres in a 2x2x1 formation. It's kind of hard to decipher from this picture because my Pegasus don't like to stand up properly, so that one guy's actually turned around. So here we go, Ogre's turn 2. The Saber-Tusk gets in the way of the Knights. The other Saber-Tusk gets in the way of my Peasants on the other side of the table. And then the Man-Eaters connect an easy charge against my Men-at-Arm unit while the Mournfang move up behind him. Back here, those Gnoblars rally, denying me their whopping 50 points. Overall, the board is looking at like this. Now, take a look at this shot. I absolutely love this shot because this is how a game of Warhammer should look. There's things on the flank, there's things in the middle, things are moving up. It's tactically challenging. This is a game of Warhammer. So magic happens, and the Man-Eaters get Weissens, which I think they were going to wound me on 2s anyways, but now it makes it tough for me to wound them. And then an Amber Spear goes through my Knights, but I luckily blank it out with my first ward save, so nobody takes a hit there. Then my luck holds a little bit more, and the Leadbelchers shoot something like 12 times, but they only kill 2 fast cavalry, and then those guys pass their panic check, which is very nice. On to hand-to-hand, oh boy. These guys base strength 5, so, geez, because of my low weapon skill, they just cream my men-at-arms, and I go from 40 guys to 20 guys. I'm steadfast, though, so stick around. Another tabletop shot, moving into Heartless 2. My fast cavalry blocked the unit of ogres, but that's not really what I want to point out. My pictures don't do it justice, but this is the order of charges here. My Knights declared a charge against the Mournfang hold. Then when my Pegasus charged the Mournfang, they decide the Mournfang flee. The Knights redirect into the Saber-Tusk here, just to eliminate it, as you see. So here's a top shot. You can notice that the Mournfang, who were right behind the Man-Eaters, they're gone. And then if you look in this shot, they actually bounce way over here. Now, I kind of made a goof. I charged the Saber-Tusk. The first charge that I did was my fast cavalry against the Saber-Tusk. I was hoping that he would flee, and then that would open up the line there for my men-at-arms to charge the Leadbelchers. What I should have done is waited, and then my fast cavalry could have charged the fleeing Mournfang, sent them fleeing again back towards the Pegasus Knights, and I probably could have killed that whole unit without rolling a single die. As it is, what's going to happen is my men-at-arms and fast cavalry will most definitely kill or break that Saber-Tusk, and then if I can overrun into that broken unit of Mournfang, I'll kill him anyways, and then it'll cause panic to those Leadbelchers who are pretty low in leadership. Whew! So, a lot of stuff going on. Nothing happens major in magic or in shooting, so we'll go straight to hand-to-hand. Of course, my Knights kill the Saber-Tusk, then they reform. Over here, I kill his Saber-Tusk, and I needed an 8 to catch the Mournfang with the overrun from the men-at-arms, but I rolled a 5. I just want to point out one thing. This is a good thing to do with opponents, is before you move charges or roll any dice, always measure it. It wasn't a case here, but you never want to be put in a situation where you need 7 7/8 of an inch to catch somebody, and then you roll a 7, and your opponent is saying, do you need a 7 or an 8? It's better to know exactly what you need to roll before you roll it, and then you just avoid arguments that way. I took some wounds from the dangerous terrain. So you can see in the middle, the Man-Eaters, they rocked up and did like another 15 wounds to my men-at-arms, sent them packing, but they restrained the pursuit and reformed to face the honor guard. I didn't charge my honor guard in the flank because I'm not sure how well they would have held up. I always get wincy like that, and then I kind of regret it later. I should have just gone ahead and charged, maybe miscast a curse on the Man-Eaters or a buff on my guys, something like that to make them, maybe have a chance of actually beating. As it is, he's just going to scare off one unit and then charge another. So here's a better shot of that. That one fast cav guy there, that's the unit that flanked the Saber-Tusk. One guy got munched, and the other guy died the dangerous terrain when he overran. So here's a look at the table going into Ogres 3. The Ogres go ahead and charge my fast cavalry, even though that Irida Rexram, these Ogres here back in the back, they fail a charge on my Pegasus Knights when my Pegs flee. And then the Man-Eaters charge the flank of my Honor Guard. Unfortunately, over here, the Mournfang rallied. They were only leadership 8. They didn't have a reroll, so they were, an okay chance to fail. And if they did, they probably would have fled right through that unit of Leadbelchers who aren't very good leadership, and that would have turned this left flank nicely for me. Speaking of the lead belchers, they charged my infantry unit, and I decided to flee. I knew I'd be steadfast at the end of that combat, but only out of 5, he'd probably still get me. So I just thought it was safer to bounce through my units and get away. Again, no major magic or shooting here, but there's something missing with this picture. My honor guard guys, I think he only did like 3 or 4 wounds. Actually, he rolled really poorly, and I got really good on the ward saves, but he won combat, and I failed my 9 rerollable stubborn check, got run down. Even worse, man-eaters made it into the flank of my knights. So, crap, all that work I did to redirect the ogres, slow them up and everything, and it's now all for nothing. So we go into Heartless turn 3. Not much for me to do. Pegasus rally, which is nice because they count as fast cavalry, so they can move because they fled a charge. So they move over here to support my knights next turn. My larger unit of infantry rally, but the smaller one can only do it on a pair of 1, so they keep fleeing. They'll probably panic the archers next turn. Combat happens, and I think I managed a single heroic killing blow against the man-eaters. Otherwise, I lose 6 knights. I'm steadfast, so I stick around, but it really doesn't matter since those other ogres are poised to charge me. Not much I can do about it. So table looks like this for right before ogres 4. Yeah, Iron Guts get into my flank, plus they roll a 10 on the charge, so they score the boosted impact hits. Then the Mournfang get into the flank of my infantry here. Now count these guys. There's 28 guys in this unit. After combat, how many are left? 0. I think he killed like 25, so there were like 3 guys left. Wow. So these guys do not mess around when they charge weapon skill 2 infantry in the flank. So I'm looking at the game, I'm thinking really I got no chance, but I really want to go ahead and fight the knight combat just to see if my general does anything. And he does. He hits 6 times out of his 6 attacks, and then he scores 3 heroic killing blows and a wound on a man-eater. So that's 10 combat res for me. Between the man-eaters and the Iron Guts that charge in, my general's the only guy left. But I actually win, because he charged at a rank standard flank, 5 or 6 wounds, whatever it was, but I had 10, so I actually won, but it was only by 1, because the leadership bubbles nearby, the man-eaters hold, and then the other unit was steadfast, so they hold too. So here's what it looks like going in Heartless 4. My Pegasus vainly try to help the general out here. They charge into the flank, and then my mage, Elliot, she's the one on foot. She gets in a nice position, wham! Miscasts a boosted Amber Spear, and it kills 2 Mournfang outright and puts 2 on the next one. I don't like to completely biff units with magic, things like Dwellers Below and Final Transmutation. Those spells are boring to me. I much rather use spells to buff my lines and stuff like that. But when you have unique situations like this where you have to shoot it down the flank to be effective, I don't feel guilty. And it'd been really nice if I could have wiped this unit off the table, but c'est la vie. Okay, this is actually the last picture I have. Where the Pegasus charged into the Iron Guts. We played a couple more turns. Some of the pictures just like got corrupted or something. Like they didn't turn up. I actually lost the combat here, but I held with both units, and then the remaining Mournfang charge in, finish off all the Pegasus Knights, and then my general has to take a check on a pair of 1s, and he fails it and gets run down. So that's pretty much the end of the game. I got totally whopped. Overall, though, this was an absolutely fantastic game to play. These are the types of games I don't mind losing. I actually got to play Warhammer here. There were several points where my opponent, or where my positioning made me think I had this game wrapped up, and I'm sure my opponent was ready to give up. But you keep playing, and then the dice may swing things erratically. Also, I think this game also shows that you don't have to be tournament optimized to have a great game. No doubt, my army would probably be better if it was less peasants and more knights, or maybe a second trebuchet or something like that. Vice, there are a few key war gear items that my opponent is reluctant to use. So, like the dragon banner that is optimally made for those Mournfang guys. He doesn't have that, and he doesn't take the Hellheart either. So, I mean, just overall, a fantastic game. So, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.